Yo, guys, you already know who it is. It's myself, King Jones, and we got my number one partner in the house, the Podfather.
Podfather.
I'm saying? It's good to have you back, man. It's good to be back.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Good
Hopefully
to
you
be
guys
back.
have been hopefully you guys have been enjoying the shorts that we've been leaving up. They're getting quite a lot of views. They're just kind of short things just to keep everyone engaged while we've been
Yeah.
planning our comeback. So
Mm.
you already know this is the football pull-up. So we've got so much to talk about, and I'm just going to kick it off. The Podfather doesn't know about any of the things I'm going to talk about, but I want to
Nah.
keep him surprised. He likes to be surprised. So let's start it off. Barcelona officially come out with an asking price for Depay. If you guys don't know about Depay, how old he is, he's 28 years old. They put a price of 17 million after getting him on a free. They put a price of 17 million. He's got 28 games this season, 20
Mm.
starts, 8 subs, 12 goals, 2 assists,
Mm.
5 man of the matches. And
How
also,
old is he?
he's 28 years old. Also, in the Champions League, in
Yeah.
6 games, 0 goals. He also has
Yeah.
12 goals and 6 assists in 10 international games so far this season. Should Arsenal interested? Should Arsenal or anybody else be interested in this guy? Yes or no?
100%. I think people still remember him from his time at United. I think he's improved massively since then.
Yeah.
Um, I think it was a madhouse at Barca at the beginning of the season. So it's hard to judge how any of those signings those players did because the team was all over the place. You know what I mean? There were so many stories about Ronald Koeman coming out and behind the scenes, team was in disarray basically.
Though he hasn't
Yeah.
done well on the Xavi or Aubameyang's gone and kind of outshone him. I don't
He's,
think.
he's,
First of all,
he's their top goal scorer, isn't he?
yeah, he's the top goal scorer. I don't think he's been that bad. 12
Yeah.
goals in 20
No.
starts isn't bad.
Yeah.
I also believe that he's internationally outstanding. 12 goals and 6 assists in 10 last 10.
And you have to look at his last couple of years at Lyon as well.
Yeah.
So and take that into rather than just this last season. You know what I mean? And the reason they're selling him is to make money, really.
Yeah.
It's not just because
So you think there's a player in there? You think he's a good player? What is his best position
Yeah.
for? And what clubs do you think should be interested?
I think it's either in a two up front where you have a big man up front or whatever he can play off that, or on the left of a three. I think he's really adapted his game to where he's probably just as good in. The thing about him is that I think he's better at a possession team as well because I don't think he's not a quick player.
Yeah.
He's quick, but he's not lightning. I mean, he's not gonna hit
not
the
when he
ball
was
in behind.
What I
He's a
like
runner.
about him, I agree with you 100%. He's not the same player at Manchester, but more than that, more than any of that, I think when I look at him, I think at this point of his career, he sees himself as a leader. Yeah, he sees himself as a player that is ready to go into a team, and I think he actually thrives in teams where he's the big player. I think he prefers to be the big player, like as in at Holland up front, attacking wise, he's the big player. At Lyon, he was the big player, and I think in terms of, I think he needs to go into a team where he feels like he's got some sort of leadership role or anything like that. I think I think Arsenal 100% should be interested. I think Chelsea should be. I think most teams in the Premiership, based on his price, only teams I look at don't necessarily need him. Liverpool, Man City, but everybody, obviously United, I'm going to go from. But I think everybody else, I think even PSG and all these teams, for the price that for 17 million realistically is a steal.
No, it is. I like him. Like I'm one of the people that he turned around. Like
you were not a fan of him. I remember
him a couple of years ago, but the consistency, the
what does he
adaptation to a different position, and what he has is that, and what people don't seem to understand is that he scores goals.
Yeah.
And that is one of the hardest things to do in football consistently. And for me, you can always find a place for those type of guys.
What does he add? Do you want, if you're him, do you try to come to the Premiership or you like no AC Milan, Inter?
I don't know if I want to come back to the Prem, to be honest. Because of the reputation I have here, because of what happened at United. And also I've seen what happened with Lukaku when Lukaku goes back, after a great spell away. So it's like, I don't know, you know what I mean? And I also think he's probably better suited to European football.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think a team like Arsenal is one I'd want to come back to, where I know it's not like walking, I'm the biggest player there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have the biggest name, I have the most experience, I'm in the prime of my career. You know what I mean? All of that. So as soon as I enter, I have that instant respect. And especially if I'm the manager signing, I'm Arteta signing. So he has to back me.
So do you think everybody's interested? 17 million. Most clubs are like, looking at that as a. Or do you think the Barcelona?
I think it's a tough position. Yeah, I think it's. I think that. I don't even think the Barca's thing. I think it's more the Man United's thing for
Yeah.
England. I think other teams, 100%, Inter Milan, AC Milan. I think all those guys are always.
Newcastle.
It's just whether they can afford it or not.
Mm.
Yeah, Newcastle, whatever.
Mhm.
So
But the
yeah,
stats,
it's interesting
the
to
way
remember.
that they've perceived him to be this season, he's obviously not been that bad. 20 starts, 12
Mm,
goals, 5 man of
yeah,
the matches. He hasn't been that bad. You know what I'm saying? 12
no,
goals, 6 assists in 10 games in international. I think he's
yeah,
got
he's
something
been
to
good.
give.
Yeah, 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 like a big injury. I think it was after like 2-3 months, and I think that completely like derailed the season. And obviously, by the time he gets back, Aubameyang is there.
I feel sorry for what I'd say is I feel sorry for him because obviously Aubameyang comes in halfway through the season when Xavi's there. He has
Yeah,
nothing to do with the Messi, but because Depay comes in after Messi leaves, he
mm,
has that sort of he needs to perform on that sort like not
yeah,
Messi, but they want him
that's
to
all
perform.
level. Yeah,
They put him
yeah,
under the pressure, whereas players like Aubameyang or players, young players like
yeah.
Fat, they're never going to get that pressure. They're like,
Mm.
nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel bad for him because he seems like one of those players. Every time he gets in like a big
yeah.
situation where he can really make his name in football, and
Mm.
then everything just goes pear shaped. So it's crazy.
Okay, so talking about spending and players going to clubs and everything going on. The next topic I want to talk about is Conte. I heard that Tottenham have 150 million to spend this summer, barring the 30 to 40 million I think they have to spend on Romero, which gives them 110. Apparently, Levy really wants to keep Conte around, so he's giving him a war chest. What players do you think he should sign? And I'm just going to throw a couple players out there, and you let me know players that I think that are good players, and I think Tottenham could sign them. Yeah, I'm looking at. I'll name some: Rafinha, if obviously Barca doesn't go through. Eriksen, Mahrez, Wood-Prowse, Maddison, Bowen, Wan-Bissaka, Tyrone Mitchell, who is one of the has I think 5th most tackles in the Premiership, and a player that got relegated, a right back, Max Aarons, because I do think they need a right back. You can name other players, but who do you think Tottenham should be looking at?
If I'm them, I'm not even touching that front three. I think that front three is brilliant.
Yeah,
I think that front three is brilliant. You have Lucas Moura to come off the bench, maybe one more attacker, but I wouldn't even look for anybody that's like super top quality.
Yeah.
I can manage that. I think most if I'm there, most of my money would go on the fullbacks.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it depends. That's the thing.
Are you going for top set ones or?
Yeah, I think you go for 2 top ones, and I think it makes the attacking thing crazy because now really they really rely on that front three to do everything, to create, to score, whatever. If you now have 2
like
flying fullbacks, it makes a massive difference. Yeah, Lamptey, Cucurella from Brighton, very good player. So I think those are the areas they need to whatever.
But another centre back for you, or
no? A lot of they're definitely another centre back. I heard they're looking at Bastoni from Inter.
Oh, from Inter, yeah. I heard he's looking at.
I really like him as well.
I
really like him, but apparently Inter like they still have that money issue, so they have to sell at least one big player this time, and they're trying to bring in players. They're trying to bring in Dybala and one or 2 other guys. So,
do you think that attackers or big name attackers kind of stray away, or attackers that people would want to stray away from Tottenham because of the Harry Kane, the fact that he never wants to come off, or you'll never really get that much game time with another striker going in, no matter what you do, because he's the captain and.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. Just like if you play in Ronaldo's position, you're not really going to want to sign for Real Madrid, right? You know what I mean? Or while he was there, or if you play in Messi's position, you just don't want to whatever. So I think it's normal. I think that's the case in most teams because those big guys they've mastered their position. They're not trying to move. But I think that's where youth and the way other teams do it is either you get a young player that is willing to sit and learn and take it as a privilege, or you overpay them. So you add an extra 20, 30K to their salary, they'll come.
So you said you wouldn't touch the front three mainly. So I'm going to name some of the players I just named, the ones that are more midfield, more defense, and let me know if you'd be interested if you're Conte. Eriksen, free contract. Would that be someone you're going for hard?
I would.
Yeah, okay.
And he's already signed him, so he already likes him already. So
what about Mahrez? Mahrez is an interesting one. 1 year left in his contract.
I would take him.
Yeah.
But I just think that Kulusevski is gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would take Mahrez as well. Like I said, I would take one more attacker.
Yeah. What about players like Wood-Prowse? Wood-Prowse at Southampton really comes alight, with 4 free kicks this season.
Nah, I'm not spending my small.
What, you don't rate him or?
I rate him, but I rate him, but nah.
Okay. We're gonna lean over to Wan-Bissaka. That's an interesting one. Could play back.
I like Wan-Bissaka, but my thing is, if you sign him, you almost have to turn him into a right centre back.
Do you think he can do that?
Like in this system? Yeah, I think he
Conte's
can.
on it. Yeah.
But I don't think you play him as a right wing back. Yeah, I mean, like he's shown that he's not.
If he's up for loan with intention to buy next year, is that someone that Conte would seriously look at? Say, I'll take him on loan. I think I can put his arm over his shoulder and make him a better player.
I think so. Like there's nothing I've seen from that guy that makes me think he can't play centre back. Like, he has everything. He's got the height, great tackler, hardly ever gives away fouls.
Okay.
The only thing is his concentration is poor. Apart from that, I think he has everything he needs to become a centre back.
Okay, so next topic we're going to talking about transfer budgets. Obviously, Chelsea been taken over. I'm hearing Chelsea 200 million. So we got the number one Chelsea fan in the house. That 200 million, is that enough? What does that do for Chelsea's precedent of next season? Does that mean you have to go for the league, or is it just to maintain, or is it to just win a couple trophies? And where do you need to strengthen, and what players are you interested in? I'm just going to let you just take away with it.
Listen, yeah, this is what I say. If the 200 million is true, that means we would have spent 250, 100, and another 200. Yeah, so fans can't be complaining, because that would mean we spend 550 in 3 years, 150 million in 3 years. Now, with one or two player sales, I think you get it slightly above maybe 220, 230 or whatever. I think there is business to be done as long as we're smart. My only issue is that because it's a new regime coming in, they probably haven't done their scouting. They're gonna have to rely on the old Chelsea scouting, and those guys' scouting has been terrible in recent years. So do you really want to rely on those guys? And hopefully, they're not going to stick us up for money. Like I don't even like announcing this whole 200 million, because all those guys are like, oh, you got money, yeah, all right. Yeah, I mean, and they're jacking up the prices, but there definitely deals to be there. Like Mahrez, like we've spoken about, Jesus, Gundogan, Sterling. Yeah, I mean, they're 100% budget players, or like players in last year their contract. So many frees. Yeah, like if you want to think outside the box, Di Maria, Dybala, Cavani's in the free, and why not? Yeah, I mean,
Eriksen.
Like, so Eriksen. I don't know what's this guy's, what's that striker that was PSG?
Oh,
Icardi. I don't know what his situation is. Yeah, and then now I'm hearing that PSG have come out and said that if a price comes in for Neymar, they'll let him go. So I'm like,
don't worry.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think
there's all sorts of bargains to be had. It's just whether
It's
the only problem is the two players leaving. So you got Rudiger leaving, you got Christensen leaving. So we're hang tight. We have to fix those.
Kunde, you have to get centre backs in. What I say is it's interesting because it for me, is it 100% 2 million? That means every time Chelsea sells a player or they let a player go that has a high wage, does that mean it adds to the budget, or is it 200? With them thinking in their head they're gonna sell a couple players, because that makes a difference. I think
it means they're thinking they're gonna come and sell a couple players. I don't think they're thinking.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, and that's interesting. But obviously,
they're thinking with certain players go.
For me, if you're getting taken over, they need to let Tuchel have what he wants in it. Like if he says, "I want this relegated right back," or "I want the top," you have to really give him what he wants. And I look at the Chelsea team and I think, okay, realistically, like you said, one or two centre backs. So they can either buy one centre back and just be like, we got Thiago, we got what's his name? Chalobah? Is that it?
Chalobah, yeah.
Chalobah. You got Chalobah. So we'll just sign one centre back, or you could sign one really good centre back and then sign another one and say, for when Thiago goes, we want to ease him out the team. So you can do it like that. But I look at the rest of the team and I'm like, I think you guys need a left back as well. Add into that. I think you guys in midfield, you need another midfielder if Jorginho doesn't go, or just in general, just kind of to boost everybody up. You know what I mean? Like to kind of put pressure on everybody. You need a boost. You definitely need wingers. You definitely need a winger or two. You know what I mean? Whether they're top level, whether they're not, but you need a wing. You need a Mahrez. You need a Sterling or a Mahrez. Someone to kind of spice it up over there. I prefer Mahrez because I think that Ziyech.
Dembele.
Yeah, exactly. Dembele, Mahrez. You know what I mean? Like, and you need a striker. So that 200 mil. It doesn't stretch as far as what you think it is if Chelsea are like, we want to win the league, you know what I mean?
It doesn't, but that's where the free signings come in.
Yeah,
Because I can give you two or three free players, and all of a sudden, all of a sudden there's a lot. Because if you're thinking Kunde, I think he's going
60
to
mil,
nothing less than
like
60 mil. So that's 60 mil gone, boom, already. So that's 140 left with. Then maybe another 30, 40 on another defender. Then you're left 100 mil. Then it's like, but the good thing is we do have some youth team players coming back. Broha coming back, Gallagher coming back.
But I heard that Werner, the Werner,
Yeah.
it's gone cold. Like Dortmund were apparently interested in heavy, but now it's kind of gone cold. Whenever I hear it goes cold, I don't think Dortmund are not interested. They just lowered the price. That's what in their head. It's like when it goes cold, it's like, oh, they've probably floated a price to you guys. You guys have said no.
Listen, right now, that guy will take a loan. Yeah, because people have to remember, because it's a World Cup year.
I think he bets on himself to go back to the German league. He bets on himself if he goes back to the league.
But because the World Cup is in December this time. Yeah, players can't afford to stay on the bench and wait till January or whatever. They need to play now, and his position in the national team is not secure, so he needs to play. So if you find him a good situation where
I think priorities are for you guys. I think priorities: centre back are number one priority, strikers number two for me, wingers number three, maybe centre mid and then left back. Yeah.
I'd say centre mid second, second is centre back
before striker before striker.
Yeah, because people don't understand. Like people don't see the names and all this type of thing or whatever. But Jorginho's been dead for like fucking 3-4 months. Kante is, that guy is like one good game every 5 these days. You know what I mean? Like he's looking, it's just not looking the same out here. Kovacic is injury prone.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, that's our midfield. And there's no real creativity and goals. Yeah. And then we don't really have like a guy. Let's say we want to switch to like a 4-3-3. There's nobody that can just defend by himself. Jorginho can do it. He needs somebody next to him. Kante can do it because he doesn't have the discipline. And Kovacic doesn't.
You guys, if I was you guys, I'd look for Tillsman, 25 million, easy. One of the best tacklers in the league.
No, I like him, but he's not a DM though. That's the problem. We need a specific DM. Like we need that guy from Monaco. Ndidi, Declan Rice. Yeah, I mean like
Calvin Phillips.
Basuma. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. But it's very interesting to see what will happen going into the summer. I don't think Pulisic can go because obviously your owners are American. But so just talking about that player that might be going to Madrid. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Tchouaméni, Tchouaméni. It looks like Madrid are going to sign him 68.6 million. He's 22 years old. He's got 5 man of the matches. Some of his strengths include his aerial. I'm going to say some of his strengths include his aerial ability, his tackling, his ball interception, blocking the ball, concentration, and he's been in Team of the Year back-to-back twice. Do you think this is a good sign?
Very good player. Excellent sign. And the funny thing is Chelsea been scouting him for 2 years.
Apparently, Chelsea were the first one on him.
Yeah, last year we had a chance to sign him for 40 million. Yeah, we said, oh no, we'll take Saul on loan. Yeah, and allow the guy to allow the guy to said he wasn't ready. Basically, he needed another year playing all this sort of blah 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 blah. And obviously, it's proven to be the wrong decision. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think it's a very good play. It was surprising if Madrid pay that money because I've never actually seen them pay that sort of money for a defensive player before.
It's interesting.
So that would surprise me. I think they might be able to get the fee down.
Yeah, it's interesting to me because they're signing him after not getting Mbappe. But I've heard there's two things, right? It's interesting. I've heard from a lot of Real Madrid fans saying stuff like, in a way, they're kind of happy they don't get Mbappe because they had so much more issues than just getting another attacking player. So they can focus on getting fullbacks and stuff and like that. But also because they still have Casemiro there, though I don't think he's coming to the end. I don't think he's at the end. They have Valverde. They have a few players at that club that, Valverde. So I was kind of interested that, they're kind of Camavinga, players that can kind of do a role. So it's kind of interesting. They have a lot of midfielders that they're just like, nah, we need to shore up that defensive mid already. But I heard that he's a revelation. Obviously, being in Team of the Year twice. I think once Madrid come in, it's very hard for a lot of other teams.
It is it is because I think even if we were involved and were able to do business and everything, I think he's still going to Madrid. I mean, I think once they're serious about the player, apart from Mbappe, I think they get him. You know what I mean? So,
but I think it's interesting because a couple years ago, people didn't really want pure DMs. But like over the last year or two, since fitness has really kicked up a notch, it's like DMs are becoming fashion now, you know? Like 3-4 years ago, you say to someone, you get a pure DM or this, that, whatever, they didn't really fancy it. They kind of wanted everyone to be box to box. But now people want specialists, a specialist DM that can just tackle, kind of, you know what I mean? It's kind of because they've got a free midfield, isn't it?
Yeah, that's how football is, isn't it? It's all about fashion and cycles. Like they see what City doing with Liverpool doing with Fabinho, what City doing with Rodri, and they just follow suit, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, that's just what football is.
But on to something new. Obviously, you spoke about it just a bit earlier. It looks like since Mbappe signed his contract on 650 grand a week, PSG have come out and alluded to the fact that they're kind of ready to get rid of Neymar. But what's interesting is that none of the major teams allegedly have any interest in him, such as Man United, Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Madrid, or Barca. The only team that can afford him on his financial level are actually Newcastle, which are deadly interested to get him, but he has little interest. Can you tell me why you think none of the major teams want him?
I think. Well, Liverpool and City, I don't think they don't need him. And also, I think like they're very system based, and they tend not to sign those type of players that they have to change their whole system for. Yeah, I mean they have a very specific way of playing, and they only buy players to suit that system. You know, and he's at the stage in his career where he's not like gonna come in and you can just learn and imprint your way of playing on him. Like he's gonna come with all his baggage and bring, you know, his own personality and the way he likes to play. So I think Chelsea are probably one of the only clubs in the top, and Man United, I would say, but then now they've got Ten Hag, so they might have a different strategy. But Chelsea are one of the only ones where we're still growing our system. We're still in the middle of our evolution. So we can adapt and have a player like that for a couple of years.
It's a weird one because when I watch him, he's like one of the only players that we can say steadily his whole career, performance, physical attributes, injury, everything's been steady decline. Season after season, he plays less games, he scores less goals. You know what I'm saying? He physically looks slower. Because even this season, no goals in the Champions League, way less games in La Liga, less goals than normal. It's like he's steadily declining. So people are scared because, you know, if we're going to be honest, with a lot of them, certain players, you know, from Brazil, we've seen it in the past. And it's not just special with Brazil, but we've seen it with Ronaldinho. We've seen it with Adriano. And it's like a lot of players would take a chance. A lot of clubs would take a chance on someone else. But because we've seen it so many times, people have that fear of like, oh, he just might be done. Yeah, and he might.
Listen, yeah, don't get me wrong. I'll take a chance. I'm one of those.
On the 400 grand?
Yeah.
50 million?
I would. Listen, if you're, but I would if I'm looking at it from the new owner's perspective. Like it's a marquee signing. Like you sign that player, everybody in world football is talking about you. Everybody in world football is watching. Everybody's eyes is on Chelsea. For the next season.
Do you think he wants it though? Do you think he wants it when you watch him? I don't know.
That's those are the only things. I don't think he's hungry. I don't think he'll be tempted to come and let me go to England and prove myself. Or whatever.
What's interesting is that people forget, but he's not a Guardiola player. Guardiola didn't sign him. He was there after Guardiola. Do you think Guardiola would have liked him prime Neymar? Is he Guardiola's type of player or no?
I think when he was younger, yes, because if I remember him in that Luis Enrique team, man, he didn't really play with ego. Like he played, he pressed, ran, he played wide, like he did everything the coach asked him to do. So him at that age, 100%, I think Guardiola takes him. I don't think he takes him now because he's not trying to mold him.
I think his first season,
but I think he respects him as a player, 100%.
His first season at PSG, I think he was outstanding. And you know what's funny? As much as managers say they don't want him, it's not necessarily they don't want him. I think they don't want this version of him and they don't want to pay the wages. Like if tomorrow he said, oh, you know what? I'm only want 100,000 a week and I want to be the best player in the world. I think most managers, even Klopp, I think they would take a chance. If he said I want 100 grand a week, 30 million, and I want to be the best in the world. The guy who's working hard, training. Most managers would take a chance. You know what I'm saying? They would take a chance.
And another thing I think that would help the Chelsea
Mhm.
aspect is that Tuchel has coached him for
Yeah.
2.5 years, so he knows it. So it's different when you're going to play for a coach who knows you, knows the way you think, he knows what upsets you, what makes you happy, the way to talk to you where you don't feel disrespected or whatever. So Tuchel would have that advantage with him, and they, it will cut through a lot of the, the
Let me ask
pretense.
you, why is it players like him don't want it? Because I look at Suarez every
Yeah,
game, no matter what team he plays for, no matter what season, he wants it. Like he wants it. Even today,
yeah.
if another team came to Arsenal and said, "Yo, we want to win the league with you," the guy would probably take a chance.
Well, it's two things. It's personality,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's also skill level. There are few times you see players of Neymar's skill level, and they're
Mm.
still hungry at 28, 29. It like it doesn't happen. When you're a phenom since you're 16, 17, when you've been told you're the next Pele, the next Ronaldinho, or wherever, yeah, when you've had so much, yeah, I mean, love and adulation from your country, from your
Mm.
club, you made so much, and as far as never made probably even half the money this guy is gonna make. Yeah, that's another aspect as well. Like I'm financially complete out here. Suarez didn't again paid the big money until he goes to Barcelona. Yeah, so that's what, like, by the time he's 27. Yeah, I mean, this guy's been a phenom since 21. Endorsement deals, this, that, playing for Brazil. He's probably thinking. He's probably thinking. People are saying that my career is finishing early. He's probably thinking, I've done it longer than all these guys. I've been playing since I was 17. See, so my thing, if my 10-year thing was done at 27. Yeah, I mean, you guys say, oh, the career finished early, but I was good since I was 17 years old. I just wasn't here. But if I was in England, if I was a 17-year-old coming in England, people were going crazy. It's like, damn. So remember, like, Rooney's time, how Rooney lasted long and all this sort of thing, whatever. But because he's from Brazil, people just, But yeah, but it's gonna be a tough one because I think about 500K a week or something like that. He's on.
And he's
He's
not
not
going to
gonna
want to go
take.
down. I think
But like
China,
I said,
MLS, yeah.
yeah, but yeah, MLS is probably the most likely destination. But at the same time, I can see if I'm him, I'm not leaving. I don't care. I'll tell PSG, listen, I'm here. I'm not
You know what's
going
crazy? You know what's crazy? In a way, he just picked the wrong league. Like, let's be real.
there.
If he takes the same stats, he goes to Serie A, fine.
Yeah,
He takes the same stats, he stays in the Liga, fine. You know what I
yeah.
mean? He just picked the wrong league. He
If
comes
he
to the
co- if
Premier
he
League.
comes if he comes in and say, listen, imagine when Hazard was here and he's like, I'm going to Chelsea, yeah, and I'm going to go there and I'm going to win the Champions League. Him,
Yeah,
Hazard, come on, man, you know what I mean? But we didn't have the money. That's the thing. We
yeah.
didn't have the money to say, oh, come here, we'll give you hotels, we'll pay you 500K a week. We didn't have that. So once money, that's the thing. It wasn't a footballing decision.
Yeah. Once
You
it
know
was,
what I
yeah,
mean?
once money
Yeah,
comes in, yeah, it's
yeah,
just, yeah. But yeah, we're gonna be following that Neymar story because I'm interested to see where it goes. It's crazy that he's 30 now, isn't it? It's like what?
yeah.
We're going on to
Time
Victor
flies.
Oshi. Is it Oshiman? How do you say his name? Oshiman, the striker, 23
Yeah,
years old,
Osimhen.
Nigerian,
Yeah,
23
like,
games this season,
mhm,
24 starts, 4 subs, 14 goals, 2
yeah,
assists, 4
yeah,
goals in 3 starts in Europa.
yeah,
It looks like Arsenal are interested in him. I'm going to tell you
yeah,
some of his strengths. So what they say his strengths are
yeah.
finishing headers, dribbling.
Mm,
But again, his weaknesses, they
mm,
say are holding the ball, passing,
mm,
offside awareness, and discipline. Personally, though
yeah,
Arsenal have been in contact with him and they're interested in him, I prefer Jesus. Jesus, you know what I mean? Like, even though he's got 8 goals and 8 assists in the
mm,
Premier League, I do think he's more proven.
yeah,
As we've seen at Man City, when he does
yeah,
get more game time, I do believe he becomes a better player. I think Arteta's worked with him. But I am
yeah,
not I'm not interested in this Victor guy. I just think that number 1 should be Jesus and
yeah,
everybody else should be after that. Do you see
yeah.
why Arsenal will be interested in someone like that, or do you think Arteta just looks at someone like that with 14 goals and 23 starts and thinks, "Oh, I can make him better"?
Mm. I do, and also I think this is where the manager's vision and idea for playing
Mm,
are important. Because if he's like, I need a big tall striker, then you shouldn't be going for Jesus.
mm,
If he's like, I want to be crossing the ball to like a 6 foot,
yeah,
6'4" guy who's going to hold up the ball,
mm,
bring guys in, and allow us to really play aerially, then you don't sign Jesus. Jesus is a ground game guy, press, interchangeable positions up front and all that sort of stuff. So if you're going so you're going to go for the aerial approach, you go for him, you go for a Sheik,
mm-hmm.
Patrick Sheik or wherever
Yeah, I
from
like him as
Bayern.
well. Yeah,
You go for Nunes from
mm-hmm.
Benfica for those type of players. Now in terms of what's his name again?
Victor Oshi.
Victor Osimhen. Yeah, he's like I would say he's more of like a aggressive version
Yeah,
of Tammy Abraham. Yeah, very similar. Yeah, loves to run the channels, but he's more aggressive with it. He's more, you know what I mean? Um, he's not as refined, you know what I mean? A player, I would say. He
As
doesn't
if
know like all those build up play, but he's more aggressive with it. He knows how like a one-on-one guy, like he'll give a defender like a real tough time thing, whatever. And he's built for the Premiership, like massively quick, fast, whatever. But I think you're better off going with the player that's proven in the Premiership.
I agree as well. I agree. I think Arteta's doing the right thing this time. Obviously, I think last time he panicked. He went only for one player, and it just didn't work out. And he couldn't get nobody else. But this time he's put a list of probably 3 or 5. I think it's 5 targets he's put up. So he's put up Jesus probably as number 1. He's got Tammy, Victor there. He's got Richarlison, and he's got Calvert-Lewin. So it's clever always to have 5, because he's like, okay, if I can't get this guy, then I'm gonna go for the rest of them. You know what I'm saying? You know, obviously, I do think there's a golfing quality. It starts to drop. So I think Jesus is at the top for me. Then probably Tammy right now. In terms of talent, Richarlison's up there with them. I think talent, he's up there. But if we're just talking about performance, it'd be Tammy, Victor, Richarlison, and then Calvert-Lewin. I think is at the bottom in terms of, because I think Calvert-Lewin is very good with his head. I think Calvert-Lewin's perfect for a team like Tottenham. Cross the ball in a lot. You know, Hong Min-son's got some of the most crosses in the box. I don't think he's the sort of playmaker, like hold the ball up, lay it left, right. He's just not that sort of player in my eyes. So.
The thing is, because even if you look at the majority of the players you've been linked with are more to that like tall, lanky, goal poacher type from Vlahovic to this guy.
But he looks like he wants to have a team where he wants a finisher. But I can see why, because in his eyes, if you watch Arsenal, we create a big chance every game. Every game we create a chance. You know what I mean? Whatever. We create a chance. Half chances. That players that are good finishers will finish these half chances. Yeah.
And who's to say that he wants to play Jesus up front anyway? Yeah, because he might want to play him on the wing,
on the left side, and make him cut in and stuff like that.
So I mean, they're all good options. Okay. But I just think, and especially another thing with Napoli is like they overcharge for their players. Yeah, like their chairman is a madman.
So I'll go into the speed round. I'm just going to ask you about some of these players, and you think if it's a good move, and who would you go to if you were them? So Ismail Assar has obviously getting relegated with 5 goals and 2 assists this season. I think he's a very good player. I've always been a fan of him. He has interest from Everton and Palace. Apparently, he's got a 30 million asking price. Yeah. Who would you go? Who would you go to?
I think Palace is the better bet, because like the way they play, his type of play, like I can imagine him up front, Zaha one side, Olise the other. You know, I think he'll eat there definitely.
Okay. I don't know if you heard, but Company is officially left Anderlecht. I think he came 3rd this season. They came 4th the season before, 6th the season before. He's done a decent job over there, and he's set to join Burnley in the Championship as their new manager. What do you think about that? Is that a good move for him? Is it interesting?
Yeah, it's a good move, because I think people, because of the financial situation there and where the club is, I think people will give him time and like even if he fails, I don't think it'll be a stain on him. Yeah,
it's crazy because a defensive team got a wonderful centre back as a new manager. You know, and I'm happy for him. I'm interested to see what he'll do over there. He'll be respected. I think initially he'll get a lot of respect. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, normally, like he's probably, in terms of name, he's the biggest manager. Obviously, everyone knows the company is. Yeah. Man City want Calvin Phillips. Yay or nay?
I like him. And the thing about it is very, very hard to see players failing at City, because the foundation is just so good. You know what I mean? It depends on the price. Because now that Leeds have stayed in the Premiership, they're not going to sell it for cheap. Okay. You know.
But do you think he's good enough to play for them, to be in the squad, to get game time?
I don't know. I'm gonna stay in the middle on this one. I'm not too sure. What do you think?
I like him. As a player. I just don't think City need him. I get what they're doing. They obviously want a replacement for Fernandinho. I get it. Like, obviously, he's not a natural Guardiola type of player, but Guardiola is obviously saying it in his head that, I want a player that's a natural born tackler and a mover and an energetic player. So he's going against his natural instinct, which is intelligent as a manager. You grow and you learn things. He knows that his weakness is technical passing player. He's not signing the big brute. So it makes sense. You know what I mean? I think, again, the price, the rip-off of the price, I wouldn't go for him if it's a massive price because they don't need him. And last and set least, before we quickly go, Nketiah set to sign a new contract, and Elneny signs a new contract. What do you think about that?
Come on. Nketiah is the most skilled youngster. Nah, I'm joking. It's an inside joke. You know what I mean? There's watching.
Yeah. Make sure, guys. You're on.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, why would you let him go for free if you don't have to?
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, so for me, it makes sense. Two-year thing is good as well because you don't have to hold on to him any longer than you need. But the thing is, him. Why would he sign it to you?